let's dive into it. So why do why do native ads matter here to you guys as founders and marketers? So just to get an idea, what are they? There are a shit ton of native ads, what's called native ads. In theory, a Facebook ad in the news feed would be a native ad because it looks like a normal post, like a normal piece of content. Or a suggested video on YouTube is a great example of a native ad. But today, I want to focus 99% on recommended articles, where you go to a magazine like the Washington Post, you see an article, you read it, you scroll down, and you discover suggested recommended articles. Usually like 3 of them are from the magazine and 3 of them are paid for. And it's even easier than booking Facebook and Google ads to get your position here. And we are talking about magazines like New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Handelsblatt, Bild.de. You would have never gotten a deal from Bild.de usually because they tell you to fuck off if you want them to print something about them. But you can very easily book some ads on their platform for incredibly reasonable amounts of money. Yeah, I'm going to show you some real examples in a second. So these are the recommended articles, and this is where you need to think about when you create your ad. You need to fit in here, but you also need to stand out a little bit. It needs to feel native, but you also need to get the attention, and you only have 2 places to do it. Yeah, the image and the little tagline, title line. That's it. So in this case, what would you click on? Maybe the European top countries? Sounds interesting. Let's click on that. So here we are on the article from Farsight. And we can see, oh yeah, it starts with a typical banner image, and you can get a whole list of like 48 little articles within that huge article that goes from place 48 to number 1. You see some ads while you're scrolling down, and I just happened to find my own ad on that. This is a Google Ads display retargeting ads. Yeah, so I've been on my own website, I hope, and so I got to see this ad within this article, so it was a bit meta and I had to take a screenshot. Yeah, and in case you wondered, this article thinks that Denmark is number 1, but I think Germany made it into the top 10, I guess. So this is interesting, recommended article, but what does it cost us? Here is a real world example. I think it was Taboola, not Outbrain, but they are very similar. So I spent 182 bucks. That's not a lot over a week. I paid incredible 15 cents for 1,000 impressions. What is normal? €5 on Facebook, €25 on LinkedIn. No problem at all. Yeah, on Facebook I usually calculate with €10, but here in native land I calculate with 1. And if one's good, it's like that. That means I got 1 million impressions for less than €200 because of the really shitty click-through rate. Yeah, and you could argue, yeah, but then it doesn't mean anything. I don't give a. As long as I'm on the Handelsblatt as a recommended article, I take as many impressions as I can possibly get for as little money as possible. Yeah, so 0.1% actually click through. Here, if you check this. Then 1,179 clicks actually went to my websites. And that is a really cheap CPC of roughly 15 cents. That is something you can get on Facebook and Instagram story ads. You can get it if you have a high engaging ad. You can even go below if you find something that is pretty viral, like a quiz or something like that. But this is in the Google Ads world, I calculate with €1. In the LinkedIn Ads world, I calculate with €5 per click. Here we got 15 cents under really good magazines. But then what happens to that? So I looked at Google Analytics and asked from that campaign, how much time was spent on my website? And for €182, I got to waste 40.3 hours of people's time on my website, which is incredible for me. Yeah, I really like that return of investment of attention, because to me it's just attention trading. Yeah, I take the cheapest attention I can get that is high quality. I would even do print magazines. I have no problem with offline as long as I get it cheaper than on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on native. I'm totally don't care about which channel I'm using. I'm just day trading at this point when I think about those metrics. And then, of course, I want to know what happens after the click. Do people convert? Do they sign up for my email list? Do they buy my stuff? That's where it gets into the tracking part. Yeah. But this example, I think, is pretty representative of what I regularly can see. Not all the time, but like 80% of the time. If I don't have a completely shitty idea, yeah, for an article that I want to promote, but I hope that gets you excited. Those numbers just, I don't know, they make me very happy. Yeah. And we are actually talking just about recommended article stuff like this, stuff like that looks like this. Here's the cover image from my LinkedIn article with the title. So I A/B tested what happens if I put in parentheses like PDF or video in front of it to see what got the better click-through rate. PDF 1, why Facebook Analytics gives you an unfair business advantage. That's a pretty interesting title. That was the title of the last, or the 2 back meetup. You can still check it out at pirateskills.com and download all of that stuff if you like. But of course it makes sense for me to promote that article through native ads as well. It boosts my LinkedIn reach, it gets me all kinds of love from the engines. So, but let's think about your situation. How can you find out if native ads are actually something for you? So think about it. 3 little steps. First, you can research fitting online magazines. If you had any choice, which magazines would you have your article recommended from? What would you guys like to see? Stanislav, what's your business?
Photo chain.
Photo chain. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
So photo chain is an extremely broadband topic. So this is really native ads friendly. The broader the topic, the better, essentially. Yeah. And if you have something that is super high value B2B, that's harder. But something like photography that everybody can care about, that is very interesting. So I would be interested in magazines like fashion magazines. Maybe there is Photo.de, maybe there are other photography websites.
Yeah, there are a lot of resources, but we are not live yet. So
yeah, okay, that's right.
We have to go live.
So anybody else, where would you like to be on, Pedram?
Can I actually pick where I can be on?
Not in the beginning, but you can deactivate what you don't like.
Okay. Because, for example, I have a client that is writing a book right now, and he would love to have an article on Psychology Today.
Are perfect. Yes, Psychology Today is a good choice. We can actually check which platform they are using. So if you have found like a magazine or magazines that you like, how do you find out if that actually works? You scroll down an article and just look in the recommended section. Oh yeah, what is the platform from which this is served? If I would start on something, I would use Outbrain. To be honest, it has a nice reach of German and English magazines. If you want to be on Bild.de, I think it's mostly Taboola, but it's fun. Yeah, you can use any, try any. It's very easy to set up. And this is what I would like to show you now. So what I want you to take away from this first segment is there is still cheap traffic out there. I know the feeling at the moment is Facebook has become super expensive. Google Ads is almost, unpayable. LinkedIn is fucking ridiculous. But there are still slots like Instagram story ads or native ads where you can find a shit ton of cheap traffic. Yeah, but with cheap traffic, you always have to be careful because it might be shit traffic.